Today's episode, Plecos suck.
Yeah, they do.
Hey.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about Plecos and how much they suck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, basically.
I guess.
Yeah, you guess.
In a nice way.
Well, not
as good as Sandy.
Sorry. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, basically, a little while ago we had a comment about somebody asking why Pleco was attaching itself to their fish, and the fish were getting very ill, as that tends to happen.
Right.
And it's not an uncommon problem, so, you know.
We've actually had it.
Yeah, because we're idiots, we should have done this episode
Right.
a while back.
We've seen it, we've experienced it, we figured our way around it for ours at least.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we can help you with that.
So let's first start by talking about what the little buggers do. Plecos, and this is, I've noticed it's more common with the common Plecos than it is with the specialty. But
yeah.
Any Pleco will do
I haven't really seen the bristlenose do it. The smaller ones, I have seen the commons do it. I haven't seen the rhinos do it either.
I've seen the rhinos
have
try.
You seen? Okay.
They tried going after the goldfish, or not the goldfish, the angelfish.
Angelfish. Okay, that's right. No, that was the common back there.
Okay.
That was the common one in there.
All right.
But anyway.
Anyway, it could be any type of Pleco.
Yeah.
We've just noticed it's more predominant with the common
that we have,
Plecos, which you really shouldn't keep in aquariums anyway, unless you're growing him.
Ours is very small. Yeah, he was very
ours
small.
Is a baby.
Right.
But basically, what happens is you'll see the Pleco attaching to the side of a large fish, whether it's angelfish or discus or goldfish.
Definitely goldfish. Yeah. Angelfish got it a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah, basically large fish, anything that it can attach itself to, that's big enough for it to attach itself to, and you start seeing that, and then you'll start seeing your fish get sick.
Right.
And the reason for this is what the Pleco's after is that slime coat that all fish have, and it protects the fish and it helps keep them from yucky stuff.
The bacteria and stuff to get at them inside their gills or their fins.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Their scales.
Yeah, their scales.
Those words, the words that I can't use today. Scales, you know, the slime coat protects their scales, protects the fish, basically. And if it doesn't have it, guess what? It gets sick.
Right.
And Plecos seem to like it.
So what happens is, you have a Pleco who's sucking on your fish, and then you're
Sorry.
Here we go. You have a Pleco.
I'll try to be serious here.
Yeah.
Sucky Plecos. Anyway, go ahead.
So the Pleco is, basically feeding on your fish.
Basically, yeah, he's basically feeding on your fish.
And your fish is going to, that slime coat gets destroyed and your fish ends up getting
Yeah, because the longer he does it, the more the slime coat will be destroyed. It takes a while for the slime coat to come back. It's not instantaneous, the next day.
Right. So first we're going to talk about why they do it. We're going to talk about how to prevent it if you can, and then how to, what to do for your fish afterwards. Right. So the first thing is why they do it. And the reason is, if your Pleco is going after your fish like that, chances are really good that it's lacking some sort of nutrition.
Yeah, it's lacking some kind of nutrient. We found this out after the fact ourselves, so we probably should have talked about this a long time ago. Yeah, it is. We figured that part out. It's lacking something. It needs something more.
Right. Now, usually what this means is the slime coat has some sort of a nutrient in it that the Pleco is desperately trying to get. The same, I'm not going to say the same type, but a type of nutrients that help is by putting driftwood in your tank.
Right. We're big. Yeah. We really like that when you put the driftwood in, because it really does help the Plecos.
Yes, it does help.
I mean, they don't mess with it. They don't mess with it every day, but they do attach to it pretty regularly.
Yeah, there's something in the driftwood that helps with aid in their digestion, which is what they like. The other thing is that a lot of people who have Plecos don't actually feed their Plecos. They feed their fish, but they don't think about their Plecos.
And they just think the Plecos are going to eat the algae off the side of the tank, which they do.
Yeah, or they're going to eat the
extra food on the bottom, which they do. They do some.
But Plecos do have specific dietary needs. So what you're going to want to do is get some type of food that's designed specifically for Plecos.
Well, yeah, we use Pleco wafers.
Pleco wafers.
They're called algae wafers, yeah. But
algae wafers, Pleco wafers.
And they have different types. You can do, there's several types. But we just give, what we do is we just give one, for the bigger ones, we just give one per Pleco per day. Not like we have to feed them a million. They come in they come in different size bags.
Yeah.
And it can be anywhere from $5 to, you know, $30, depending on what type of bag you buy.
Yeah.
What type of Pleco wafer, where you buy it.
Yeah, I mean, with all
So-
our Plecos, we go through about a bag a month, so.
Yeah. So I buy a small bag for mine, and it usually lasts me 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
'Cause
so you're dealing with one tank.
I'm dealing with one tank with 2 Plecos.
I'm dealing
So
with.
I mean, I buy a small bag and it lasts me 3 months. So, you know, please understand, you know, we go through more than that with the big ones, but.
Yeah, especially the ones that are over a foot long, but.
Right.
But basically, if you catch your Pleco doing this, the first thing you should do is put some driftwood in your tank and start throwing Pleco wafers in there. That should, no 100% guarantee, but that
Right.
should.
It worked for
stop
ours.
them.
Let's just say that.
Right, it did work.
Definitely worked for ours. Within a day or two, ours stopped.
Now, at
Even
the
stuff.
same token, some Plecos might have just developed a taste for the fish slime and they just think it's
Right.
delicious.
Right.
And if you've got that going on, then the only remedy is really
Moving one
fish
of
or
them.
the other.
Right, move one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought we were going to have to move the angelfish for a minute because he was pretty intent on getting him, and he was developing a sore, a couple of sores, which you might have to watch too, because you might have to put him in a hospital tank just to be careful with the sores until they heal.
Right.
We got lucky and the driftwood worked,
Mhm.
and then the Pleco stopped messing with him, and he healed relatively quickly. Well, not quickly, but relatively well.
Yeah, basically what we ended up doing with him in particular is he's in with a couple other Plecos and a catfish, and I think what was going on was all the other Plecos were bullying him out of food.
Because he was the smallest. He was the smallest Pleco, yeah.
So once we
And different
started throwing-
breed, and yeah.
Right, so once we threw in more driftwood and threw in more food, then we didn't have a
A
problem.
much larger piece of driftwood. Remember, the driftwood was really a small piece we had in there, so she found this really big piece and threw it in there. And then we just threw a couple extra Pleco wafers in there for what, maybe a week or two, and we didn't have any issues with him. And we've caught the ones over the goldfish doing it a couple of times,
Yeah.
and that's usually when she'll throw a couple extra Pleco wafers in there, or she checks the driftwood, because the driftwood does get worn down. We
Yeah,
found
it
that out.
does.
And sometimes you have to put new driftwood in there. So, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
thing. So it is a thing with these stupid
Right.
fish.
Now treating your fish after they've gone through a Pleco attack.
Goddamn Plecos.
Yeah, as soon as the Pleco has destroyed the slime coat, your fish are going to be vulnerable to a myriad of problems. So the first thing that you want to do is do a cure-all in your tank. Separate the fish if you can.
If you can, yeah. we
And
could,
do like a cure-all just to, you know.
some kind of energy boost thing, something cure, yeah. There's
Something. There's also products on the market specifically for helping.
I'll say for
slime coat.
slime coat, there's the slime coat conditioner that actually puts it there, helps it come faster.
And then salting your tank.
Oh, it helps it
you know,
come
a little,
faster. Sorry.
and a little bit of salt. A little bit
Well,
of salt.
that's no fun. Maybe. Sorry.
Oh boy. Yeah, a little bit of salt in the tank to
I'm
help
trying.
promote the healing
Serious,
as well.
serious conversation.
Well,
It's not.
Sick fish
It's
is serious
I know,
conversation.
I know.
You just
But-
can't get your mind out of the sucker bucket.
See, thank you.
Yeah, even the koi are like really
Laughing
heavy.
they're laughing with me.
No, they're laughing at you.
I
Trust
know,
me.
I know. But anyway, but no, yeah, there is a special conditioner you can put in there to help the slime coat grow back faster. I've used that when I first get a fish. Sometimes you put the conditioner in there, and it does, you know, and that works. I think there's something else that they can buy. There was another.
We usually do a cocktail between
Yeah.
Primafix and Metafix, and we mix it half and half, and
Yeah.
we call it fish bactine.
Okay.
It does help with
Scrapes,
scrapes, bacterial problems.
just in case, because the worst. I mean, because the sores can get pretty bad pretty quick.
Yeah.
We were worried about the angelfish for a minute, but he did get better. So.
Yeah, basically, as soon as you catch your Pleco starting to do that, don't wait. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Telling them no isn't going to work.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah, we did.
We're like, no.
We had a heart-to-heart with the Plecos. And
He didn't go for it.
No.
And it was only the one. But and the one in the one tank, too. There was only one in that tank, too. Yeah, they're just assholes. But anyway,
Well,
it's
no,
because they're missing something.
Well,
So
I've
you really
seen-
got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because that means your Pleco's not happy with what it's eating. So you really have to, you know, something's missing from its diet.
Right.
So just kind of keep
So-
that in the back of your mind. It's not doing it to be aggressive to the fish. It's not doing it, you know, for any other reason other than it's missing something. It's missing something in its diet, and you have to correct that. That's your job.
Right.
So
And again, if the fish does develop a taste for it, that's a whole nother problem.
Yeah,
That's
we haven't had that, but I think when you were doing some research on it, I think you found some that their Pleco just got a taste for it. There was nothing else going on in the tank that could cause it.
Yeah.
And he just wouldn't stop. So you may have to separate them.
And if you have that kind of case, then it's time to separate them. But
usually at that point the pleco has to be either only with other plecos. He can't be with any large fish because he's going to go after the next large fish he sees. It's not going to be just that one fish.
Yeah, you keep them in with smaller fish.
Yeah, because the smaller fish,
like guppies,
yeah, they can't catch them. They can't hook on them. They're too big. So depending on the size of the pleco. Like I said, I've never seen it with the bristlenose. Not to say it doesn't happen. If it has happened to you, we'd love to hear about it down below.
Right?
Can't you just see a little bristlenose attached to a tetra? I can see it. That's the worst part. I can.
Well, we've had baby plecos in with like your guppies.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, but can't you just see it now in this house? I can just see
like
it happening.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, by all means, like, subscribe, share, comment below. If you have any plecos that have ever done it for you, we'd love to hear what you did to correct the issue. Hopefully you didn't flush the pleco.
Yeah, don't flush your pleco.
Don't flush it. That's bad too.
If you need to get rid of a pleco, find a mom and pop fish store. Explain the situation to them. They'd probably take it right off your hands.
Right. Yeah.
Or there's also
do not throw it in a local lake.
Yeah. Now something else I've noticed is there's a lot of Facebook pages out there, groups now about rehoming. So if you've got a pleco, just be honest when you do something like that.
Yeah. Tell them what's happening with it.
Tell them what's happening. That way somebody who might have a tank full of guppies who needs a pleco might be happy to take it from you.
Or even like somebody that has a pond that has just minnows in it.
Yeah.
That's just like a plant pond. Like we have a whole pond just dedicated to plants. We can put a pleco in there and he wouldn't hurt anybody. You could just have some minnows, can't catch them.
Yeah, but I mean another thing I've seen is like when you have a fish die, they'll go after it.
They will go after everything, the slime coat,
Yeah,
they will attach to a dead fish, a big, large dead fish.
Yeah,
like in the koi pond.
Yeah, we've had a dead goldfish in the koi pond, and they all just. I've got 4 big plecos in my hand.
Big standard plecos. They were all attached. Yeah, it was like woohoo, cool. They weren't necessarily eating the fish, but they were eating all the slime coat off it because it couldn't get away. So it was just like a free buffet for them. And probably whatever, but it was kind of gross. Yeah. But but we did notice that as well. Yeah. But another thing you want to mention, I think you told me.
Now we mentioned before about how it's usually the common goldfish.
So common plecos.
The common plecos. These are the most popular when it comes to people who go to pet stores because they're cheap. You usually
very cheap.
Yeah, usually
they're very small when you get them.
$5, and they're usually about yay big. These are the worst plecos to have in an aquarium to begin with because they can get well over 2 feet long.
They do grow slower in a smaller tank. I mean, mine lasted, and I had a 10-gallon and a 20-gallon tank. I had a 20-gallon tank for probably about 4 years, and he was just getting to the part where he overgrew it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it took a few years for him, but he was, and I didn't know. That was back when I told you before. I didn't have a clue how big they get. So, common plecos shouldn't be in a regular standard tank anyway. In our case, it's a little different situation. They're literally in a 70, 150. What's the one in the house? 150?
No,
75?
Yeah, 75.
75. So 75,
and
yeah, it's just a grow out tank for him because he was so small when we got him, and we didn't really have anywhere safe to put him because again, common plecos are territorial.
Yeah, and they will bully.
So he's in there with the 2 rhino pleco babies and angelfish and a catfish now.
Yeah.
So that's all he's in there with.
Yeah.
But until he grows out, once he grows out big enough, he's going to go in probably the plant pond. Or maybe in the koi pond, because the koi pond's so large, I don't think the ones out there are even be able to find him. Yeah. It's a very large pond, so I don't think the couple that are out there are going to notice one more. But they would, we couldn't put him in the koi pond.
Yeah.
With the 4 that are in there, they would probably hurt him.
Yeah, they would. But
he would be the slime coat sucker.
Yeah, but
sorry.
Yeah, but
I'll stop.
But our point is that usually this type of behavior is most common for a common plecos. So. Try not to put common plecos in aquariums.
Yeah, there's other types of plecos you can ask them for.
Bristlenose
or bristlenose or the what they call. There's another name for them. There's bristlenose and then there's
like dozens of different types of plecos. I mean, even the rhino plecos only get to be about 8 or 9 inches long, and they're okay for bigger tanks.
Right.
But for smaller tanks, you're going to want
like a bristlenose. I mean, we saw a common pleco that was
like 3 feet long.
3 feet long. He was humongous. And the ones at Blue Springs where somebody dumped their common pleco in the springs, some of those out there are 3 feet long, probably 2 to 3 feet long, which we're going to do this summer. We're going to go out there and try to catch some of those on video for you.
Yeah, we're not going
to show you. Well, catch them on video. Catch you on video to get you so you can see what happens when you release one in the wild and how they
take over.
They explosion. But anyway, another story.
Yeah.
But back to the story we were on.
Yes.
Comment, like, subscribe, share below.
Yeah. Yeah,
But and was there any other points that we wanted to make? I think that was
No, I
it.
think
Okay.
that's everything. It's just a common issue with plecos that aren't getting the nutrition they need.
So it can be any pleco. I mean, like I said, it could be a bristlenose hooking to a fish that's large. It usually is a fish larger than them or as large that they can actually attach to.
Right.
They're not going to bother with a little tiny tetra or a little tiny guppy. They can't.
Yeah.
They can't get to them. So that's not something you're really going to. We're talking about the larger fish.
Yeah, we're talking about like arwanas and koi and goldfish and the angelfish and discus and bala sharks.
What do you call them? What are those ones that your mom wanted to get that we didn't want her to get? That like to breed a lot.
Oh, like cichlids.
Cichlids, yeah.
The bigger ones.
And bigger because they get big. Some of them, most of them, half of them. But anyway, so like, subscribe, share, comment below. Buy something from our Etsy shop. Buy something from our other shop.
Yeah.
We still want to make koi rana.
Yeah, all the links are below.
I'm wearing a shirt.
I'm not. I'm wearing a Don't Be a Salty Bitch.
Too late for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, definitely buy, subscribe, like. We'd love to hear your stories if you have any stories about plecos. Some of them are interesting. I mean, you've seen a video of ours. They eat upside down.
Yeah.
They, you've seen a Roomba who's a dick. Literally, she's an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have. We've got her on video being a jerk somewhere. But anyway, we'd love to hear about your pleco stories. We'd love to hear if you've ever had the slime coat issue with your fish, and what's happened and how you've fixed it. That would be interesting to know. Other people have the issue.
And if you didn't know how to fix it, now you do.
Now you do.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Bye.